So while I was waiting for my new mould that I did in the softer resin, while I was waiting for that to cure, I thought I would try this mould. This is an old, just a metal lady's head. I thought if it works out, I'll start to make them into brooches. So I poured the resin in here, waited ever so patiently, kept coming out and testing it and testing it and testing it and testing it over a couple of hours, and then finally just dropped it in. It did sink the littlest bit in the depth here, but there's still enough for it to be okay. So what I'm going to do for this one, because it's not a huge deep, I'm not pouring it this deep, I'm just going to take it to about there. I'm going to use the 15 Shore resin. And this is the one that I got from Temu, and I'll link it in the thing below. This is an expensive way to buy it, but I'm just learning how to do molds. So I thought I'll try this one, see how it comes out. This, by doing it in resin in a container that has a lid, what I can do is keep the lid on that. That's my master, and if anybody else wants some, once I set up my eBay store, if anybody wants this, I just have to pour it in, and I've got the master, and then I keep the dust and dirt off it by putting the lid on it. That's my thinking. I could be crazy. I'm thinking it will be about, for that depth, maybe 100 grams of silicone. And if I call the silicone resin by accident, I'm sorry. I do get confused a little bit because I'm nervous. All right, so we should be able to see all of that. That means if I'm doing 100, I will do 50 of each. So I'll do 50 of this one. Here. I think I've got that right. Oh, and it helps if you take the cover off. So I do get a little nervous when I'm making these. I've only made about 14 videos. Just take this off. Oh. Now, what did I say? 50. We'll start with 50. You might, excuse me, if I have to make more. I can always make more. $48. Oh, 50. So wipe that off. Oh, 52. Don't you love the way these little scales change? So I'll put 52 of part A in. And this is where if I go over on part A, then I've got to readjust. And so 52 makes it 104 all up. Let's just that settle. 96. $101. $103. Oh, and that should make it go up to 104. Just wait patiently while the scale decides. 105. That will be close enough. That will be close enough. So I'll put those back on. stir it gently for 5 minutes. Couldn't find my other stirring stick, so I've just labelled a new one. 5 minutes. And as I said the other day, you scrape your sides, scrape the bottom. Same way as you do for resin. I'm doing it slowly because I don't have a debubbler of any sort. But if you do have a debubbler, you can apparently put silicone into a debubbler to get all the bubbles out. Hopefully this might be enough, because if it isn't, I don't have much left in that brand. Oh, and the other thing too is, where is it now? I have some silicone offcuts here, just little trimmings from the last time. I'll be putting those in there. You can use to, so you're using less resin, less silicone, liquid silicone. You can put some offcuts in and take up the volume. So I will back this on to my new softer silicone rabbit mold that I made. I'll show you what happened to the 15 Shore silicone mold. But I'll back this one onto the end of that video. I have poured a second rabbit into my softer silicone. See how that comes out, but that's still setting. It's a 2-day pour. And when this is set tomorrow, I'll demold it and I will pour into the silicone. It's a pity this is so expensive to buy in the smaller amounts. If you really are into mold making on a big scale, you need to buy your silicone in bulk. But then you've got to be a serious mold maker. Even if you're a home business, doing one here or one there like I'm doing, I'm not buying it in bulk. Unless, of course, I get lots of orders. And then I might change my mind. This would be a really pretty little brooch for a woman. Oops, better get that silicone off there. Don't want that there. Otherwise she'll look like she's got a pimple. Don't know where my mum got that from. She used it in her cake decorating days. And because it's metal, it should come out with a fairly good shine to it. Just make sure it doesn't have any icing on it, I suppose. What is that? Make sure it's clean. Probably should have done that before I stuck it in resin. Well, my husband came out after he'd watched half of my very first video. And he said, so I've just seen your comment about how it's only plastic plants that can survive in our household. And I said, well, that's true. I must say though, he's doing a good job of keeping the real plants alive at this point. If you didn't see that, it's video number 1 or number 2 in my series. Okay, so scrape that, bring that down, one more little stir, scrape around. Wipe this off. And then throw that out because that is silicone and it will set. Now with these little bits, I'm just going to toss them in. So that way you're not actually wasting your offcuts. And you can put bigger chunks in from what I've seen. These are just little trimmings off the base. Just spread it around like that. Pour it slowly and from a height so that it pushes out any bubbles. And I probably have way too much that I need. Let's see how deep that is. Paper towel. At the high point there, that's that deep there. At the lower point, it's just a bit deeper. I might pour the rest of that in. It's not too much. And then I'll set that aside. What's the curing time on this again? No order, bubble free, hardness 15, no, doesn't say. I think they said in the instructions, I think they said a few hours, but I'm not going to use it until tomorrow anyway. Okay, in the bin with that. Wiping this. Put that over here this time so I won't lose it. Now, because these little bits of loose resin, loose silicone were very light, they may float. If they do, just chop it off when you've got your mould out. And it probably, because they were only little slivers, didn't save me much silicone, but that's okay. Bigger pieces would. Now I'm putting that over to the side. That has to set. And I'll come back to you when that's set and I can pour into it. And my rabbit one is finished and I'll finish that video. Thanks, bye. Well, that was interesting. Trying to get the mold. I poured this pretty pink rabbit into the Shaw 15, which was the first mold I did. And the only way I could get it out was to cut it down completely on both sides. I thought I was going to burst a puffer valve, as I said the other day. I tried everything. So I cut it down. Now, because I cut it right down to here, in desperation to get it out. I don't think I could even tape this up and use it again because I think it would leak out of the bottom. So what I will do with this silicone is I'll chop it up into bits and put it into other molds as I make them. It won't go to waste. But what I did do, anyway, that's the little rabbit that came out of the Shaw 15A. And I decorated it, little butterflies. Kept it fairly simple because it's a very pretty little rabbit on its own. Coloured the ears inside, the nose and the eye. So that's that one. Then I made the Shaw 10, which is a much softer, you can see it's a much, much softer silicone. And I poured this little fellow. Now, I've stuck a bow on the back and a butterfly on his ears and coloured him in. It was so much easier to get him out of this mould. So a Shaw 10 or softer is best for these sort of deep moulds where they've got ears that go back and you've got to get the head out and then the ears before they break. And that's that one. I'm really pleased for my first effort at doing this. Then after that, I decided I would try to do a mold of this. I want to try and make this into a badge. Now, can you see it? There. I use the 15A for this because it's only this deep. It came out really well. Now, my issue is because this here was very, very shallow, I may not be able to pour resin into this, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to paint it up in chameleon colours and then pour black into it, and hopefully I will be able to fill it up. We'll have to see. I'm going to do that off camera because knowing me, I probably end up with a huge mess. I'll come back and show you the final product with that. But that's what I'm doing. I poured the resin in here, waited until it was almost set, laid this on top so that I got a very clear, very clean line for the actual mold. Then I can put it in here with the lid down, and I've got my master if I want to pour any more. If this works, then I'll be able to pour more. I'm going to turn this, if it works, into a brooch. I think it'd be a really pretty brooch. Not so much a necklace, but a brooch. So I will do that off camera and I will come back and I'll show you that. Okay, so I'll see you when I get back with that one. Very quickly, just to finish this off. I did pour this. I poured it twice. I knew it is so thin. It's paper thin on the side. Can you see that? It's paper thin. So I didn't want to take the chance on doing it with epoxy. I did it with UV resin because this part is quite deep, that part of the hat, but then this is paper thin. So I thought I would pour it. I did dust it with chameleon powders. I poured it, set it, poured it, set it, poured it, set it, and then I wanted the mica powders to actually stand out. So then I mixed black in with the UV resin and realised that the UV wasn't going to set because I'd made the black too dark, and the UV light has to be able to go through it. So I scraped all of that out, had a huge mess on my hands, started again, poured it, set it, poured it, set it. It turned out, I think, really pretty, and I will wear this. It's got the badge on the back, on the brooch back. I will try another time. I will try to pour it with epoxy resin. But for this one, I just wanted you to see how it turned out. It's really pretty. Even with the clear against the chameleon mica powders, they came out really pretty. So that's that. I've shown you everything else. I think this I turned into a necklace. I think that was on this. I've been doing a couple of videos at the same time, so I've got photos to put at the end, and this one I turned into a necklace. So thanks for watching. I hope if you're enjoying my content, I hope you will like, subscribe and share, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.